So, we're doing art today. We're transitioning art into Saturdays now. At least for a little bit. So today we're gonna do some marble painting. Ah, it doesn't fit. Okay. Wasn't sure if that was gonna fit or not. It's okay that it didn't. It's alright. I wish I knew where our packing tape was. That would make this easier, but I don't. And I'm just knocking everything everywhere. Being all sorts of fumbly fingered today. You know, as one is. So I hope everybody's weekend is off to a good start. Doesn't help that I can't really get my thumb in here. Very well. Alright, so this box, like, we're not like doing marble painting like faux marble, we're actually using marble-like objects to help us paint today. So, salvaged a box from a delivery here. Oh, which way are you going? I'll tell you, for tape that's supposed to be easier to use for painters and shit, this tape has been interesting to use. I actually kind of prefer the masking tape we got from Dollar General, believe it or not. Okay, so this is our base that we're going to use. However, we need to get our paper, and we're probably going to do a couple pieces. So, oh, where are you? Alright, so this is Canson watercolor, 140 pound, cold press. This one piece, my corners are bent. Alright, well, that's all that I can do about that right now. Okay, so we're going to use one piece. What size is this? 9 by 12. We're going to do one piece as it is. Yeah, that'll fit in the box. And then I'm thinking, it's so thick, I have to make sure that I only have one piece. Let's see here. Alright, so our ruler folds out. And let's see. So approximately thick paper. And I've probably dulled the blade cutting tissue paper with this thing. It's fun. It's a 7. And then this way. No, wait. This way. That I cut wrong, didn't I? Yes, I did. Because of course I did. I cut that backwards because my brain is dumb. That looks crooked. Why did you look crooked? Did I not get you? That's probably as good as I'm gonna get it. You'll have to excuse the band-aid. Because I saw what my hand looked like without it on the camera, and I'm like, oh yeah, no. That's not gonna... That's not gonna work. Okay, I think these are approximately 5 by 7. Okay, so scraps over there. I don't know what we could do with these. I mean, in theory, we could paint them into bookmarks, maybe, but I don't know that many people that still read physical books, so... And I hate throwing stuff away, but... Now... Okay, we're not quite ready for all that just yet. We have to get some more of our stuff here. Alright, now I couldn't find specifically marbles, but these are round and these will work. So, oh, that one's a messed up one. Check that out. Oh. So these were just filler for floral arrangements. They're round. They're essentially marbles. They'll do the same job. Alright, so I'm going to get a Ziploc bag. Because we're going to need to contain these. Probably should have put them in there before I cut the hole in it. Alright, so it would be easier if I had used a bigger bag too, but we'll get there. We're not using all of these. That's for sure. only using some of them. Alright, so we're going to close that for the moment. Oh, pretty. Okay, now this is going to be with watercolor and acrylic. I saw somebody else do this and I'm like, hey, I want to do that. Oh, but my dumb brain forgot to get more water. Shit. Alright, so we're going to add we're going to try to add some black paint. I need to get a little bit more water. I will be right back. Okay, so we've got our black paint. I'm going to add just a little bit of water. I don't want a whole lot to that. I've got a paint spoogie. Clogging the nozzle here. Come on. Really? We're just gonna get paint everywhere today. Alright, I'm just gonna have to touch it. This happens sometimes as your craft paint gets older. You don't use it fast enough. We're making some progress here. Hello? Come on. Gross. So if you don't like the sensation of paint or don't want to ruin nails or anything that you might have just gotten done, you can go ahead and wear gloves. How many paint spooges do we have in here? My goodness. Wow. Holy cow. This bottle of paint, man. It's been around for a little while, I guess. Come on. Hello. Hello? Excuse me. Oh, this bottle of paint's just like, no, that ain't it. Alright. Well. I can see. It's a good thing I've got a little trash bag here. Number one. Come on. Seriously? Like, I don't... Wow. Like, I can hear liquid paint in there. It's just being really super difficult about it. So, let's clean up my hands here. Or we're gonna try to. Wow. That's a lot of black paint under my nail. Holy cow. Alright. Let's grab one of our skewers that come in handy for all sorts of things. And let's try to scrape some of that paint out, or at least get the worst of it until we can wash our hands properly later. I just don't want it quite so terrible in case I have to touch something later. Okay, so it's gonna be a messy nail day, obviously. Put that back in our bucket. Alright, paint bottle. Like, I know you can't possibly have completely turned... Oh, it's a spooge in there. There's some liquid paint. Alright. Let's grab a paintbrush here. And if you'd rather use like one of your less desirable paintbrushes, that's cool. Probably a good job for them. So we're just gonna mix our paint, our acrylic paint, into a little bit of water. Doesn't need to be like super watery, but it needs to be a little bit. So we want to be able to coat our marbles. That kind of looks pretty good. Okay. Let's see how that does us. I'm gonna try to scrape off as much of that paint as I can. I'm gonna have a cup of rinsey water. To clean that guy up. I'm just using the bottoms of some plastic water bottles that I cut up. Cut the tops off of. Splashing myself in the face, apparently. Okay. Alright, I'm probably gonna have to rinse that again later. But we'll roll with that for now. Alright, so we've got our bag of marbles. I did say, you know, art can be messy sometimes. So make sure you're wearing clothes that are okay if you make a mess. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go with 5. 5 for now. Alright, so you can use a plastic spoon just to kind of spin these through your paints, and so you can get them out of there. Or, you know, you can use gloves on your fingers and just get your hands in there, whatever. Alright, so we're gonna get our box. I'm gonna start with the big one first. What side do I want to use? This doesn't really matter. Okay. So, I am going to try to grab a marble without grabbing too much extra paint. Okay. So we'll see. I might have to tape the corners of this down. Don't know. There you are. So this is a bit of a messier one. So yeah, we're gonna have to at least to start with. The person I had seen do this had taped it to like another piece of paper just to make it easier to get it back out of the box, but okay, now we're gonna roll and we're gonna kind of let them do their things. That's kind of cool. And you can do that as much or as little as you want. And you kind of let them do their own thing there. Kind of cool. We'll probably do a couple. That one's very, very busy. Hang on, let me slide the... Oh, that's gonna be over too far. Okay. So, now we're going to scoop up our friends here. 1, 2, 3. 4. I made a bigger smudge trying to get that out of there. I wasn't paying attention. Alright. So, we're gonna be messy today. This is just how it's gonna be. It's just the way of it today. Let me wipe my fingers again, so we can attempt to get that out of there. Remember, wherever you're going to touch, make sure your hands are clean. Alright, so that's not so bad. That's actually kind of cool. Our paper's bigger than our camera view at the moment. That's alright. Okay, let me take my other 2. Oh, that is wet on the edges. Hey, husband?
Mm-hmm.
Can I borrow you for a second?
I think so. What's up?
Can you pick up this canvas?
This?
Yes.
Just put it somewhere safe?
Yes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And your tray is right there.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't realize the edge was going to be quite so wet there. Alright. So while that's kind of hanging out, it shouldn't take too long to dry on that. Gotta grab our tape here. Just barely hit the corners. Just to kind of give us a little bit of tack down. Okay. Where is that blue tape? So I need a little bit more for number 2. Be better if my tape would peel as one piece. That would be super great and helpful. Okay. So we're gonna pop these 2 in here. It doesn't matter if they're straight in here, it's fine. Now, if you like this and you want to do more of these, you can just put this box tray somewhere that you've made, somewhere where it can dry safely, and just hold on to it and just use it for this. Or if you get a lot of deliveries, or I mean, you could probably also grab like a roasting pan or something from Dollar Tree if you don't want to save it. And then you can just throw it away when you're done. That's up to you. You can kind of see where the paint's already drying in there. Alright, so I'm just going to recoat our friends. I think this time, maybe we'll do like 2. And we'll see, because that was very chaotic with 5 in there. It's very chaotic. It's cool, but it's very, very chaotic. Alright, sorry, I'm just wiping some of the excess paint off of my fingers so we're not leaving a whole huge mess everywhere we go. Alright, so let's see here. Let's see if we can get them moving here. Alright. Oh, Kofi Bot's here. And it's kind of just, you know, rolling them around and trying to see what you can get them to do, because they do kind of do their own thing. And some lines are gonna be thicker. Let's do it from this angle here. Alright. Rolling them through the excess paint I got sitting over there. Some lines are gonna be thicker and more visible. So you're just kind of having fun with it and doing as many or as few as you want. They're kind of getting stuck in the extra paint I got happening over there. That, and I didn't get that piece fully flat, so it's getting a little hung up there. Come on. Friends, come on. There we go. So that's kind of cool. And I think I kind of want to do one more. So, where am I going to put these? Okay, I've got some paint colors pulled out for a different project I'm working on, because I don't want to lose track of them. So it's a good thing we have the bigger desk now, because we certainly need it. I think we'll get a new baby wipe for our hands here in just a minute. Okay. So we're gonna carefully attempt to peel up our tape. Just so I can try to reuse it if possible. It's not like we need a tremendous amount of sticky power. So yeah, I just need you to hold a corner. Alright, so this is just... Oh, that ate a little tiny corner of the paper. That sucks. It's okay, it's okay. I think we can fix that up there. Alright, so we're gonna carefully pick these up and put them somewhere safe to dry. Now, because this is water-based, oh, we missed one, acrylic paint, it shouldn't take too long to dry. I mean, of course, it's gonna depend on how thick your paint is. Alright, I think we're gonna definitely do one more, because why not? Right, we got a little bit of time to play here. Alright, so I'm gonna grab one more piece. And I just got this paper off of Amazon. Sometimes it's on sale for like 2 packs for whatever. Usually not that expensive. I think one pack might be maybe $10, if that. Depends. You can get it on sale. I usually do. Actually, like, having a little bit of anxiety using so much paper, but we're having fun. We're trying something new. All right, and I also put our paint mixture in the bottom of a water bottle, because this I'm just gonna throw away when I'm done. I don't need to save this. It'll be weird if I save it. I mean, if you have a paper cup or something you want to use too, that's fine. Alright, I think this time I'm gonna go with, start out with one. And we'll just kind of see how this guy, come on, there we go, how we can deal with this guy. We got him back into that extra paint there. Come on, you can do it, buddy. Come on. Alright, will I save the marbles? I don't know. I've got plenty of them. You can if you want. Like, if you don't have that many, you can save them and rinse them off real good and save them for, like, this project if you want to do it again later. That's gonna kind of be up to you. I haven't decided yet. I mean, the bag that I bought was like $4.99, but we did get a ton, so for our purposes it's a ton. So I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll figure that out later. Okay. So we've added 2 more from our paint cup, and we've still got the other one on there. Okay, come on. Okay. So it's kind of cool because they're all gonna be somewhat different. Sorry for the clacking, it's gonna happen. Okay, so we've got different thicknesses, different amounts, and I'm gonna grab the last 2. I'm gonna try to pour off some of the extra paint there. Because these 2 will be fresher. Sorry if you keep hearing like a little clicky noise. My spoon keeps hitting the microphone. I really don't want you to spill paint everywhere, so let's not do that. This is kind of cool, and like you can go as ham on this as you want to. Get in there. Don't you two miss out. Alright, I think that's probably pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get everybody down the end here. And I'm gonna collect these guys. I'm definitely gonna keep this spoon though. This is just a plastic spoon that we had from a container that we bought that came with it, and we didn't really need it to go with what was in the container, but I kind of like it for this, so I'm gonna hang on to that guy. Put you over there for right now. Clean up my fingers a little bit. Alright, now we're gonna carefully get in here and get our tape peeled up. I haven't decided if I'm keeping this box yet, because, you know, cats in boxes, but I might have somewhere that I can put it where they shouldn't be able to get to it. I know that's like famous last words with a cat. Trust me, I know. This is not my first cat rodeo. Okay. So we do need to get this guy out of here now. I'm just cleaning up my fingers so we can carefully grab this guy. Again, sorry about the big obnoxious band-aid, but I cut my finger tip with a knife a couple of days ago. Husband said it looks okay. He didn't think I needed stitches, but A, I really don't want to get paint in it. That would probably not help anything. And B, it looked really ugly when the camera picked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, some people are gonna get squeamish, and I understand people getting squeamish about it, so we'll just cover it. That's fine. Okay, now we need our glass plate or some kind of board that you can tape stuff down to it. Some people use plastic clipboards that can get wet without a problem. Alright, I'm gonna see. Do we need the heat tool today? We might. We might need to get the heat tool. Alright, so this was the first one we did. Okay. So now, Dollar General masking tape. I talked you so well. Talked you up so well earlier. Of not giving me issues. You're not supposed to start giving me issues after that. Okay, so we're gonna attempt to tape this guy down. Now, I know that some of the black is gonna be going off the edge. We'll probably, when we're all done, cut this guy down a little bit more to maybe 8 by 10, just so it's a little more picture frame friendly. Sorry for the black paint under my nails. It's gonna happen. I mean, I'm not a pretty manicure nailed person. I'm a little too rough and tumble and get in there and get my hands dirty. That, and I usually don't like the texture of my nails being long. This is like the longest they ever get. And I just haven't cut them yet. So there's gonna be crap under my nails sometimes, depending on what we're doing. Especially with a project like this. Like, that's just gonna happen. So if that bothers you, I am sorry. If it bothers you to have that happen to you, like I said earlier, you can always put some gloves on, or if you don't like the sensation of gloves completely on your hands, there's the little finger protectors you can get. It'll just like cover your finger like halfway up or something, depending on how long your fingers are. That's an option as well. So just kind of taping this down a bit so it doesn't buckle. Just make our lives a little bit easier. We have to get some more tape. In maybe another week or two. We're plenty fine today. Okay, let me move our other pieces over. Now, I did recently pick up a heat tool. Heat tool, heat gun, whatever you want to call it. Where am I going to put you? I don't want you to spill. Oh, I'll put you there. Okay. So. We are going to try busting that guy out for the first time. And we're gonna see how it goes. Mini hot air gun. I have no idea how loud this is gonna be. Now, you don't have to have one of these. I don't know where the book went for it. I did think that stand was metal and not plastic though, so I'm kind of peeved about that. Where's our on switch? Does circle mean on or does circle mean off?
For what?
An on-off switch.
I believe it means on, but I could be wrong.
Because there's a minus and a circle.
The minus is going to be off then.
Okay. Okay. I have no idea how loud this is going to be. Oh, that's on. Okay. That scared me. I was not expecting that to turn on. Okay. So, oh goodness, we are not in frame here. Alright, let me see if I can zoom this out a little bit. I'm a little restricted in what I can do here. Because we do have a shelf there. Let's try that. Okay, so this might be a little loud, I don't know. We'll see. So you can just wait for this to dry on your own, or on its own if you want. Definitely smell. Oh, yeah, okay. Why are you doing that? That does start smoking. Well, that's not good.
What are you doing?
I had it on for like 10 seconds. I've unplugged it, and it's off now.
Where was the smoking from?
Down here.
Let's have a look.
It smelled like something was melting.
It might just be the initial plastic from the processing.
I don't know.
Doesn't feel that hot.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused to why I'm seeing smoke come off it.
Again, this happens like it's like our furnace, how it smells every time we start. Here, plug this in.
I'm afraid to use it now.
Plug it in. I'm gonna test it.
It takes a second for it to get hot. And then once it started getting hot, I could see it starting to smoke. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I think it's just plastics in the processing. Yeah. It's new furnace smell. You're fine.
Is it smoking still?
I didn't see any smoke.
Ah. That plastic bag can go in the trash. No, it's smoking now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's, again, it should be fine. I think it's just, you gotta get it started.
That is wild. I've never known these to smoke. Or is it steam?
Probably smoke.
I've known people to use these for heat embossing, for rubber stamping, and I've never seen them do that. That sucker starts putting out some heat real quick, doesn't it? Okay. Well, I think the other ones will probably be a bit drier. By the time we get to them. Like that spot's a little shiny, but we used a matte paint. Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dry, or try to speed up drying on these guys. Only take a couple of seconds. I'm definitely putting out some heat here. Like I said, you don't have to do this. You can skip this step if you want to. You can just let it dry on its own. I'm doing the glue on my tape. Stay. Okay. Whoop. Let's not break it. Alright, so it's almost dry in a couple of those spots that we were hitting up there. Almost dry. By the time we get to it, it should be good to go. Let me check this one. That one should be okay by the time we get to it. I think this was the driest one out of everybody. Yep, okay. So we should be good there. So we're gonna go ahead and unplug that guy, let him fully cool over there. Okay, we're done with that. Okay. Now, whoop. Okay. That's still pretty warm. Okay. So now we're gonna get our watercolors. We're gonna pick out some colors. Whatever watercolors you have. Let's see. What colors do we want to go with? These are totally up to you. Let's start with I can't get it open. Hang on. grab one of my paint rags here. An old beat up washcloth that we have taken out of washcloth duties. Okay, I wasn't sure how much I wanted to put down there. We can always add more later. So I'm using Arteza Watercolors, not sponsored. It's just who we're using today. Let's see here. And you can go with whatever brush of choice you want to. Yeah, this brush has gotten all frayed already. Damn. Well, that's upsetting. Alright, so I've got some water here. And I'm probably gonna like swap out the water in between colors, so, or I could just get another water cup. I'm gonna start with a little bit extra water down here, or we're gonna try. See how that goes. You can do this to any concentration level you want, and just pick a spot and start going at it. You can paint splotches, you can paint in specific areas. And that is going to be entirely up to you, although this weirdness here with this bit of paintbrushy stuff sticking out the sides, bugging the crap out of me. So, tell you what, picked up a couple more brushy guys. Let's go with a new brush. So, acrylic, watercolor, and gouache brushes could be interchanged. That's gonna be personal preference. The only ones that you really shouldn't intermingle are gonna be your oils, because you know you get that residue in the oil paint. You really don't want to, you really can't like mix that with your acrylics or your watercolors. That's just not gonna work. So our paper's dry. You could do this with wetting your paper first if you want. that is going to be entirely up to you. If you want to do some that you go in on dry paper and then some that you wet down, hey, that's fine. So let's wet that section. And we can go ahead and add some watercolor into that. Now if you want, you could just like go around the edges of your shape and then let it bleed out if you want, or you can go back in and soften it down a bit. That's gonna be totally your call. But this is definitely pretty fun and, you know, pretty relaxing when you get to this stage. It teaches you to not get so worried about stuff. If you want rainbow colors in here, then do rainbow colors. Like, we're just kind of getting started. It's just the first color I picked. We'll see how things progress. It is a little messy in the beginning, but I do think this is good for if you're new to watercolor and you're still kind of afraid of them and you're like afraid you're gonna mess up or you don't know what you're doing. I mean, this is kind of fun to get used to painting wet on wet and just, you know, get to know your shades and stuff. Kind of like it where we're going in with it being wet. Kind of like that effect. So I did do this one already, but I'm kind of coming back in with a little bit of water, and I'm gonna come back in with a little bit more paint. We do have to be careful with this one since we already put color down, just so we don't pill the paper. So we don't want to rub it too much. And it's okay that this one's a little bit darker. That's fine. You can have some of the same shade that are darker, some that are lighter. Go for it. And you don't have to paint every single... You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to do anything for you?
Nope.
You don't have to paint every single spot on the paper if you don't want to. Again, totally your preference. So see, these two that we're going back in and dropping a little bit more of color into. are going to be a little bit darker. And just paint right over the black. It's fine. If it's dry, it'll be good. Don't worry. It's all good. Now, I am actually a bit intimidated by watercolor because it's not a medium I touch very often, but this is kind of fun doing it with this. Now, I suppose you could use gouache for this if you wanted to, but you'd have to do it like really watered down. And then if one of your other colors touches it, you know, it could potentially reactivate, so do keep that in mind. Okay, I'm just grabbing some water. It's slightly discolored here. It's slightly faintly blue just because I haven't refreshed my water yet. But we're still using the same color, so I'm okay with that. Now I am using tube paint, so I'll probably have more paint put out than I need, because again, this is not really my go-to medium. Okay, and I kind of like it a little bit deeper, so I'm going to add a little bit more color into here. This is a synthetic brush. These are just detail brushes that I picked up. Can never have enough detail brushes to get into small little areas, in my opinion. Never have enough. Alright, now I'm not trying to go for any specific patterns here. Just kind of picking sections and just kind of going with it. Now you can do larger sections of color. You could just go to town with your color and not worry about filling in sections. I'm just filling in sections. Excuse me. Because I want to. Kinda, there we go. Let's see, what time is it? 2:18. We might not get to all of these today. It kind of depends on how fast we get there. So we will have like a line around the outside that doesn't have color on it. So I'm saying we'll probably have to trim it down. I'm really living dangerously, grabbing my water and dragging it over. Our entire painting. That's not something you should do. That's definitely don't do that. Actually, it'd be smarter to move the water to the other side to keep me from doing that. That may have bled under the tape. I'm not sure. That is possible. Right. Well, I'm gonna move that over anyhow so that we can get to this section. So it's kind of like the, what did they call it? Is it the neurodivergent stuff painting? Or like you round off the corners, but we're not rounding off the corners. It's similar, but not exactly the same. Cat, get down.
Now get down.
Get down.
Get down.
Thank you. He knows he's not supposed to be on my chair. Alright. Now you can add as much of any one color as you want or as little. Just go with a color until you're happy with it. You can always add more of a specific color. Oh, I guess we're going there too. You can always add more of a specific color if you want to. As you're going, you know, until you run out of spots. Okay. Looking for my water that I moved, because of course I am. Where do I want to put you? And the black acrylic paint shouldn't necessarily reactivate with water touching it, so I want to make sure that acrylic paint is good and dry, whether you're letting it dry on its own, or you're speeding it up with a fan or a hair dryer on a cool setting so you don't burn your paper, or like a heat tool. And because the watercolor is transparent, you should be able to see the black lines through it. So you can just paint right over them. Okay. Now, do I want any more blue? Okay, so we're gonna pause on the blue. I'm gonna rinse my brush here. Dump it into my container of black paint there, or my my dirty paint water that has the black paint from our brush earlier in it. Okay, that's just about cool. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little bit more clean water. Okay, now we are gonna pick another paint color. What paint color do we want? I don't have these guys swatched, and I probably should have. Alright, so this is Vermilion Red. A little bit of this goes a long way for what we're doing. That's for certain. Looks like I still had a little bit of blue pigment in there. So it's kind of like a reddy orange, it seems. So it's not like a completely contrasty color, but I think we'll be okay with that. We'll just do a couple to see how we feel about that color. Let's see, where do we want you to live? Let's go here. See how we feel about this. And if we're not feeling that color after the first one, maybe we'll just add like 2 or 3 to balance it out. Alright, so let's grab a little bit of that. So it's not like a real brilliant orange. I mean, I could have just grabbed straight up orange from our bag there. I mean, it's not bad. I think we can live with a couple of those guys. And we might not do a whole bunch of them, but I think we can do a couple. You know what, let's take you down to there. How's that? See how we feel about that shade there. This is my first time using this brush. Well, like today. It's the first time. This guy holds quite a bit of water and paint if you let him. I've noticed a lot of my water on the paper is like running this way. It's kind of because our floors aren't level. So that's gonna happen. Alright, where else do we want you to be? Well, this looks like a fun shape here. Kind of come into here. I always underestimate. Why is that? Like, my paper's being weird on the edges here. I don't know if it's because it's older paper, or if it's something with the tape. Or what? That does look kind of funny there, doesn't it? Well, that might get trimmed down too, so I'm not gonna worry too much about that. Could be something with the sizing in the paper. Like I said, this is older paper. I've had this for a while. So we might trim that edge off because I haven't noticed it really on the other edge. Just strange. Okay, let's go ahead and gonna turn this guy because we're allowed to turn our paper. Don't let anybody try to tell you that you're not allowed to turn your paper, because that's some BS, unless it's a specific challenge you're doing. But under normal circumstances, turn your paper if you need to. Maybe it has something to do with the heat gun there. That is very strange. Because it's being all splotchy in that section. Like very splotchy. And I didn't think we had gotten anything on it. It almost looks like there's some kind of like oily weird residue there. And there shouldn't have been.
On what?
This side of the paper. So it's either something to do with the heat gun fucking with the sizing, although it's not like that all over. That's alright, we might trim that section. we'll probably take this down to like 8 by 10 like I said earlier, so. Alright, Kofi Batch just having a grand old Kofi time. Looks like a good shape there. And you can do your shapes as big or as small as you want. Like, it doesn't have to be real precise here. Just be careful in case you're doing like 2 squares next to each other that are still wet, because the colors might bleed into each other. Yeah, I probably made too many that we probably won't get to all on stream, but I was being a little over ambitious. I'm like, oh, it's just plopping some color down on the watercolor paper. That's probably not going to take that long. And then forgetting it's me. Oh yeah, we can get all these done. Depends on how intricate you want to get with it. Did you get that text message?
What text message?
Or notification?
I got something from Tyler.
Oh, okay. I heard a notification go off, but I didn't realize you were in the room.
Sorry.
And I didn't realize you had your phone. I was just making sure you got it. Okay, so I think that's all I want to do on that color, because I'm not really feeling that color that much. I mean, it's not a bad color, it's just not a me color. Do you want to get some green in here? If we do, what color? Oh, how about some lime green? Oh goodness, that's crusty. I think we've like played with these a couple of times. And now they're like, yeah, party time. And I'm like, no, hold on. Hold up there. Alright, let's get some water for, oh, this is going to be very electric. For sure. It's definitely going to be a cross between a yellow. We might add a little bit more to that. Why not? I guess we'll just kind of go for it. Okay. Now, where do we want this guy to go? How about here? That watered in there. So I'm still working on the video edit of Chungus, the full project. I will say I'm like on video I think I just started video 9 of like 20. And I am almost at an hour and a half. And that's extremely sped up with a shit ton of cuts. So that might end up being potentially close to a maybe 3-hour video with the cuts. But that was a bigger project, so just so you guys are aware. I'm still working on it, I promise. I was probably up way later than I should have been working on it. Okay, these two colors, I just realized, are probably gonna bleed into each other. If I'm not careful. Hopefully we can keep that from happening, but if it does, it does at this point. Okay. Yeah, all of my water is pooling to this side. That's hilarious. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're gonna flip this guy. Whoop. So I'm making a bunch of noise, flipping everything around. So this one we're just kind of doing some rainbowy colors. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I touched that side of the paper after I wiped my hands with the baby wipe. That would do it. That could be what that weirdness is. Watercolor paper is very ultra sensitive, so you can't really put any lotion or anything on your hands before you touch it. I did not today. Specifically because I knew we had to touch this paper. But there could have been something in the baby wipe that I didn't realize. That is possible. Yeah, this lime is kind of like a more of a yellow than a greeny color. That's okay. Like I said, we're gonna trim this guy up. Probably to more of like an 8 by 10. Yeah, look, it's doing it over here too. I bet you that's what it was. That has to be it. Because you can see it as we're getting the water on here. I don't know how much of it's translating through the camera, but dang, that's annoying. Hopefully I didn't have that happen to the other guys. It's possible. Got a fuzz in there. That didn't want to be gone, apparently. Yeah, because even going back here, you can kind of see how it's darker on the edge. I must have had some residue. Well, that's not cool. Dang it. Alright. What do you say? What do you say to some purple? Let's go with some lilac, huh? How about that? Get a little bit more fresh water here between our colors. Hoping it would touch this. There we go. And start to get that all worked into itself. If gravity will cooperate. Alright. So start to get this guy. You know what? Fuck it. Let's make this whole thing purple here. Let's have a big guy. Why not? Let's add a bigger square here. Triangle. Why not? Just making sure I've gotten all of that wet. That's very light. Very light. That's okay though. It's very dark on the palette. Very dark. But if we wanted it darker, we could just add more pigment or less water. Got a little bit on the desk there. Of course we did, but this is contact paper that I've got down now, so we don't have to do the placemats that get grungy and stuff. So I managed to find some really cool contact paper to cover part of the desk in. Where's the water? So not all of it's covered in that, but we've got some of it on there. So that way, so I was afraid the tape was gonna mess up the desk, like the last bit of tape on the last desk, that blue painter's tape that wasn't supposed to destroy walls or anything, ripped up the veneer off the desk, and royally pissed me off. So like, no, I don't want that to happen to this one, because we're not going to be able to just replace desks on a whim, so. It was extenuating circumstances that we were able to do that. It's a very light purple, but I kind of like that in there, and you can kind of feel this taking on its own life now as we are adding colors. It's so strange that I'm only seeing it on that edge of the paper. The other edge, I'm not seeing it. And our brush isn't that rough. Oh, we're starting to see it here too. Well, we'll see what we can do about it. It's gonna have to wait till everything's dry, so we don't damage anything in the process of trimming it. Now, since this is watercolor, it'll probably more than likely go in a frame under glass. Just to help protect it. Where? here. Just trying not to overthink placement here. And like I said, you don't have to pre-wet your squares or shapes, whatever you're doing, if you don't want to. I just am because I like this a little bit more filled in, feathered look. That is going to be 100% personal preference. And if all you have access to is like Crayola watercolors, you can use those too. Nothing wrong with that. Alright, I think that's all the purple I want. Helps if my bottle of water is open. So I'm trying to pour it. Okay, so we need another color here. What is this? That's in violet. Violet might be... See, I know that's not Prussian blue, like that sticker color. There's no way. Here we go. Want to liven this up? We'll liven it up. Why am I like all the way over here? There we go. Get some neon pink in here. This might be a little much, but why not? Right? Like, why not? Alright, where do we want you to go? About like right here. In the middle. Oh wow, okay, yeah, that is very bright. But it might dull down a little bit as it dries. You know, we'll see it. Let's just kind of run with it. Like, that's kind of cool. Our paper is kind of doing this weird thing in there. Where it almost looks like the pigment is separating a little bit. We've been having a little bit of issue with this paper today. Don't normally have this kind of issue, so I don't know what I did. Alright, so I want... Let's go with a larger section in here. And one of the other ones, you know, like you can go with just a variety of shades of one color if you want. That is also something that you could do. That is a very powerful color. We are getting a little bit of it straight from our pile there that my brush is dipping into, so just bringing a little bit of it straight from that, not fully watered down, but still. Like it's mellowing a little bit, but like not dramatically. So we're not losing too much of that punch of color there. I do like that though. Did I turn? Hang on. Okay. It looked like autofocus had turned on me, and I'm like, why? I didn't tell you to do that. Sorry about that. Alright, so we got 2 there. How about in here? Like, I'm not putting it up against the blue deliberately. Okay, so we have a little bit more water. I'll see, I've got a little bit of a thing there because I wasn't paying attention. So my colors kind of overlapped a little bit there, and that's okay. Not a huge problem. In fact, even purposely come in and add that in there like that. As a deliberate color there, like that's fine. Okay. And I want to add another pink guy here. And we'll fill that in. Yeah, for some reason this whole side here, like both of those edges are just crazy. And it sounds like there's a doggy trying to get my attention. Hold on, dog. Hold on. That sounds like Zuzu tappy feet. He can't figure out how to get to the front of me. Alright, let me rinse my brush there. Alright, so I think I need to take the dog out, you guys. I will be right back. Sorry about that. We are back. What color do we want? Oh. Like, we don't have to... sage might not be the right color for this. Alright, let's go with light green. Now, you don't have to fill in every single aha. That was a crusty guy. You don't have to fill in every little section. You can leave some open if you want, and we might just do that on this one. On this one. Okay. So green. Let's go here. Let's do a big old green guy. And then we'll show the two smaller ones. I'm gonna grab a little bit of our green color here. Looked like I didn't get too much water mixed into that. And you know, that's fine. That happens sometimes. Alright, so yeah, I don't think we need to do too much more color with this one. Like, I think I want some of this white left alone. Alright, so let's drop this color into here. think we'll do maybe 2 more greens. How about here? I just didn't rinse my brush that good since we were still in the same color. And we'll get this guy laid in here. Now, alternatively, you could probably also do this in reverse, where you paint in your colors and then do the marbles on top of it. And then, you know, where the marbles go, the marbles go. It's going to be a little more chaotic that way, for sure. But if you're more interested in just letting the marbles do their thing, that is an optional, especially if you just did a solid color background. You could also do that. Like, I kind of like a lot of the white left on that one, but we'll see. We'll see. I could change my mind later and decide to finish that one. I'm gonna stick my tape on the edge of my desk there. Oh, this one's just ripping this paper to hell. Oh no! Shit. You know, this tape used to be so good, unless it had something to do with the heat tool. It very well could have. Alright, so I'm gonna slide this guy off to the side for right now. And we're gonna grab one of the smaller ones here. Now this one, I don't know. Do I want to tape this one down? I mean, it might get a little wrinkly if we don't, but at the same time, we will end up with the slightest bit of a white edge. Okay, I'm just gonna do two sides for this because I really don't want to lose our edges there. Alright, now for this one, I think I want to go with variations of pink. I think. Hopefully we don't have the same weird issue. Now this one might get a little wrinkly. And just because, you know, I don't have it taped down as well. Now with this one, we could do shades of pink and green to kind of give it like a flowery feel. Sorry if my head's in the way. Forgot. I did zoom out a little bit. Or we could just stick up straight with shades of pink. This is also possible. For time purposes, today, I think we're just gonna stick with our shades of pink. But I do really like this. So this is probably something that I'll do off stream, or we can always do it again on stream later. Alright, I will say this particular shade does feel a little chalky. Could just be me. I'm not seeing any weird pattern on the edges here, but we also didn't heat tool this one, so I don't know what was up with that. Maybe we did something to the sizing, holding the tool in that one spot for too long. That I just don't know. So this is currently blush pink. That we are working with. Yeah, this shade definitely feels a little chalkified because it's making that black a little bit discolored. That's interesting. Okay, so that was blush. This is bubblegum. For the faintest of seconds, I thought I smelled bubblegum. That was kind of crazy. Alright, where do I want you to go? How about here? Here sounds good. Get this guy worked into here. I don't really want that pigment pulling along that edge. If we can help it. Don't think we're gonna have too much of a choice in the matter on that one though. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll fill this guy in here. And you can go as tiny detail filled as you want. This is your artwork. You could do every little guy you see a different color. Just gonna hit this with another quick pass there. I just want that a little bit darker. I mean, you can still very much see that it's a different shade from this one. Like, you could go with the smallest shape that you see. Don't have to go for just like triangular shapes either. That's gonna be, again, completely personal preference. Okay, maybe one more on this guy. About this shape here. Traffic's picking up. Oh no, we've got that weird splotchiness happening again. What the heck? Why? Is that where I started to pick this guy up? That is crazy. I might have had oil residue on my desk. This paper might be so sensitive. I put essential oil, not essential oil, pure oil, scented oil, in our humidifier diffuser last night, and I even wiped the desk down. I wonder if that's what it is. It does kind of look like oily smudges. And I did not see that before we added the water to the paper. That is wild. Well, you know what? How about we just finish filling you in. That is all sorts of infuriating. let me grab... I know we have more pinks. Spiced apple. Ballerina's gonna be so light. Crimson. Bordeaux. Where was our... I picked one up earlier. That's actually red. Let's see, that's our mauve. Mauve. Like, I know crimson. I know we didn't use the other color. We might use spiced apple. Like, the stickers on these things kind of are useless because there's straight up rose. It looks purple. Might add some olive to this though. Or maybe some sage. We'll see. What is this? This is orange red, but look how pink that looks. Like, it looks like coral. Here's our mouth, which I'm pretty sure is more purple. Alright, what does rose look like? Let's find out. Okay, that's kind of like a magenta-y. Maybe more fuchsia. It's more on the purple side. I think we'll still use it. You know, we'll see what it looks like dry. Actually looks like I damaged the paper right there. Which I don't quite understand because I didn't think I did, but okay. Sure, I guess. Oh, you know what? That might have been where the tape was on the, when we were doing the acrylic paint. And it looks like it might have left a little bit of residue there. So my paper is bowing up a little bit on the edges. where we are putting color in. It's because it's wet. And because that side's not taped down. Now, I haven't fully rinsed this particular cup of water I'm operating out of yet. Since we've been on shades of pink, I've just been kind of going with it. If we move to a lighter shade of pink here in a few minutes, then I will probably go ahead and swap that out. Since we are now into a darker shade, because, you know, why not? I might have this piece of paper upside down too. Like, wrong side up. Potentially. Okay. So I don't know if we're going to use all the colors that we pulled out. So, I mean, it looks a little purple, but it is still kind of like a pinky purple. Okay, so we got that one there. And you just basically keep going with whatever shades and colors and whatever you want to do. I mean, obviously we won't have time to finish everything today. I thought we might, but obviously not. And that's okay. Just trying to keep that from getting a little too puddled there. So it's not too of a stark edge. I've got this weirdness going on in this corner. Kind of looks like I futzed the paper when I pulled the tape up. But you know what? We'll signature there. It'll be alright. It'll be okay. Alright. Now, I think I also whatever happens, it's on this edge too. And that's all sorts of crazy. It does kind of look like oil bleed-in, but why? Is what I want to know. Okay. Now, do we want to do... I think I want one more in this shade. I think I see perfect shape right there. And then we're just gonna drop that color in. Okay, so that's about all we have time for today. I will probably, at the very least, finish this one up, and then we can post some pictures of this guy once we get to where we want to be. So I thank you guys for popping in and hanging out, and we'll be back tomorrow with some more arty things, working on our Bob Ross needle felt. So hope y'all enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow.